So, Stella and Evan, did you get a copy of today's script?
No, it didn't show up on my desk like usual, delivered by a lowly delivery boy.
Well, I can forward you a digital copy if that is okay. Do you need like a paper? Do you need it on paper in front of you?
That's what I prefer, plus with my parts highlighted.
Oh, okay. Well, I could drive it over. Like, I live not far from you, I guess. Although I'll wait. Copyworks is closed. All right. How about this? I will write it out by hand, pencil and paper, and then I'm sure I have what color highlighter?
Pink, of course.
Hang on. Let me check my jar of highlighters. Okay, I got. Well, this is not a highlighter. It is and it's not really pink. It's a Sharpie, and it's this color. This is the closest I've got. Will that work for tonight?
That's a terrible option.
Okay, well, Evan,
what is that?
What, this Sharpie? It's just
yeah. What color is that? What is it? Does it have a name?
It doesn't say on the marker.
That's magenta.
Yeah, I was going to say magenta, yeah. But it's kind of it's borderline hot pink, I would say.
But Evan,
I did get a copy of this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I got a copy of the script, but I'm like kind of curious. It doesn't seem like it's up to the same standard of quality. Like it says on page 2, like you're supposed to just say a bunch of stuff that you like kind of half remember and half know about, like really confidently, and like that's really out of character. So I don't know what's going on exactly.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm sure you both know our writers are part of the WGA, the Writers Guild of America, right?
Of course.
And you may have seen recent news about them. No? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, our usual team, they're currently striking. Of course, we will not be paying them for the time they're on strike, and I've revoked their benefits as well, as I'm sure you agree with those decisions, right?
Oh, yeah. We're not Conan O'Brien's over here paying them out of our own pockets. I can't believe you let them join a union in the first place. And,
Well, you know how strong the union is around here in the Iowa podcast industry. Like, we didn't have any other options.
I suppose.
Yeah, there's so many podcasts being produced here that it was pretty hard to find people willing to write for no pay. That is what I'm trying to do that now. I mean, we need to produce podcast episodes, obviously, and our usual writers are on strike, so I brought in some. Well, I guess they're scabs, as I guess that's the lingo, right? So that could, they're not as seasoned. They're not good at this. I mean, I looked through the scripts for today like a half an hour ago, as I usually do. That's how I prepare. The writers write. Every day they're in the writers' room and they present me with the script in the morning, and I ignore it until 6:30. But it's not good. It says, well, at the start, it says Hard Rock Caucus. First of all, they didn't catch the name of the show, and I don't think we can use this. To be honest, I don't think it's going to work.
People are going to be shocked and appalled at the dip in quality. I mean, what they expect from us, what they've come to expect from us, is the news, perfectly polished and delivered with expert takes and professionalism, the utmost in professionalism. We're just going to serve them up a big steaming pile of shit, Justin?
Well, I have an idea if you guys want to try this. Would you be comfortable trying to just improvise a podcast today?
I don't know. What about reality podcasts? So, like, I know that you used to do a podcast called Impedecast, where you like basically went out in public and just recorded stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like what a lot of TV networks are doing. They're just kind of falling back on,
unscripted content.
Yeah.
So like maybe we could like go outside or something.
That's a little too far.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really like to go outside either.
I mean, we've never done this before, but would you be willing to try to improvise the episode today? We don't have to release it if it doesn't work out, but
Next, you're telling me we're going to be citing Wikipedia as a source for these episodes.
Stella, don't you have a degree from Second City in improv?
No, I don't like getting sexually harassed. Why would I have any affiliation with Second City?
Yeah. I forgot about that part.
she's UCB.
Oh, yeah, all the way.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to attempt to intro the show without reading it off a page. All right? In 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone, to Rock Hard Caucus, Iowa's favorite podcast. My name is Justin Comer, and I'm here tonight with my friends Evan and Stella. And we are going to talk about current events. How's that?
That was pretty good for off the cuff.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, like we always do.
Let's keep the
Current
energy
events.
rolling, I guess. I listened to a radio interview that Rita Hart did recently with Clay Masters at IPR. For those of you who maybe don't know, Rita Hart is currently the chair of the Iowa Democratic Party. What else did she do? What's her resume? State senator, gubernatorial running mate of a failed campaign, a congressional failed campaign as well.
Yeah, 6 votes.
Yeah.
Co-owner of a family farm, which, as we learned during our conversation with Dr. Chris Jones, farmers are overly represented in Iowa governmental offices.
Yes. And I will once again take partial credit for her electoral loss in 2020 because we did an episode about her state Senate career, and we swung that election in favor of Marionette Miller Meeks.
That's all we do here is help the right wing by attacking the center.
That is our purpose. But I pulled a few clips of Rita saying things on a morning edition that I thought we might be interested in. So here she is talking about the 2022 midterm elections.
The midterms were devastating for us, but thank goodness we could look around the rest of the country and say, well, you know, maybe we got to look here. we got to make some changes here.
Sorry, what? The midterms were devastating for the Iowa Democrats, but thank goodness we could look around and what does that mean? What did you get from that?
Yeah, it's like when your house is on fire, but you look out the window and your neighbor's house isn't on fire yet.
And you think I could learn something from that. My house should be more like those other houses.
Yeah.
Not on fire. Maybe she explains what she means a little better in this second clip, which is about how the politics of Iowa have changed.
Hart says Iowa politics have changed.
It used to be that Democrats could run a good candidate because they served on the school board, because they, were just good people, and people would vote for them on both sides of the aisle. And now it seems like there's the national news has kind of permeated and taken over. And then at the same time, you've got the social media phenomenon, and it just wasn't that long ago that everybody had the TV on at 5:30 and 6 o'clock and watched the local and the national news. And now people, who knows where they're getting their news from.
All right, there's a lot in that one. They used to be able to run good candidates and people would vote for them. But now they don't because they're not watching TV. Right?
We got to start running shittier candidates, it sounds like. Yeah. Is she saying that because things are so toxic at the national level that it's...
Maybe, but I thought we were looking at the national... Thank goodness when we looked at the national midterms.
Yeah, what is her point?
Yeah, we got to look at the politicians in other states who are doing completely different things to what the Iowa Democrats are doing.
When have they ever ran candidates that were like exceptionally good people?
I mean, well, they've all lost now. I don't even remember who was in office. I mean, I don't know. Dave Loebsack seems fine, like on a personal level, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder if they've considered like getting on the internet where people are to maybe reach out to them.
Yeah.
If that's where they could find constituents. It seems pretty obvious, but
to leverage that social media phenomenon.
Yeah.
It just
maybe
started.
They could give flyers to college students or high school students to give them some good reasons to vote for Democrats.
I
feel like that'll do a lot of good.
I have seen someone trying to do that. You could put stuff on the flyers like, old people vote, why don't you?
One time during the 2008 election, I was going door to door trying to get people to sign up for like absentee ballots to vote for Democrats, and encountered this 18-year-old, newly turned 18, who was registered to vote. And I was like, so what's your plan to vote? Do you want an absentee ballot? Are you going to go down to the polls? And they're like, well, I got extra credit in school for registering to vote. So that's the only reason I did it. And I don't want to vote. I have no interest in voting. And I spent like 10 minutes just like begging them, like, come on, you want to vote. They were like, absolutely not. And they were right to shut the door in my face.
Did they give a reason, or did they just understood that voting is not cool?
They were just not interested in it. They had absolutely, good for them for like being a good student and getting extra credit to vote. But They were like, no, this was the beginning and end of all of my political action.
This is my civic engagement.
Yes.
Evan, try saying something. Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is our audio engineer on strike too?
Well, that's me.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah. All right. So something to do with the way people get news has changed, and that means they're less interested in voting for Democrats, I guess. Let's let her continue on presenting these theories.
In this divided society, how do we talk to each other so that we can agree on things instead of immediately coming at each other from a point of disagreement, but instead to have conversations that lend us to that kind of agreement that we can do better?
I'm just going to have to disagree with her right away.
It'd be nice if there was like any specific, any specifics, any sort of like, we all want to agree, that's fine, but I think there's maybe possibly things that are preventing us from agreeing that we kind of need to settle first.
Well, my thing is I would like people to agree with me, whether I agree with
Fair.
them or not.
Right.
I
would like the government to do
That's
good
how
things
I feel about it.
rather than bad things.
Yeah. Some people just will not budge on that. So an important subject, considering she is running the Iowa Democratic Party now, is the Iowa caucuses. The pretty much only reason anyone in the country pays attention to the politics of Iowa being first in the nomination process, which is not going to happen for the Democratic Party in 2024. Thankfully, we are keeping the Republican caucuses first, so that'll be a barrel of laughs coming up over the next few months. But, of course, Clay Masters had to ask Rita, what's going on with the caucuses? Seems like a lot of your voters don't give a shit about this, but you seem adamant that we need to push ahead and try to keep the caucuses. Well, here's what she had to say.
But when it comes to the caucuses, we're spending as much effort as we can to make sure that we are in a good position to end up with a process that is going to help us to get more Democrats involved in the process. I'm excited about the fact that we're going to have this mail-in opportunity that is going to allow people who have never been able to participate in a caucus before to suddenly be able to have their voice heard on who they think should run for president. Now, as far as things that we don't have a lot of control over, the DNC is beyond my control. That calendar, I think, is beyond everybody's control. We'll see how that shakes out in the end. But in the meantime, we're going to pay attention to the things that really matter, to the issues that matter, to finding the candidates that are the right candidates because they represent the values that people of Iowa hold dear. And we're going to make sure that they have the resources that they need in order to win those races.
We're going to stay focused on the important issues, such as...
You just selectively edit this, or is there literally no talk of issues at all, or any of the important things that real Iowans care about? Shit.
Yeah. Well, so the whole interview I think was 5 minutes, and I've played, about 2 minutes from it, so that's almost half of it right there. I remember her saying something about quality education.
Did you say abortion?
So that's no, not even a euphemism for abortion.
I don't know. That seems like a good one that might get young people on board.
Yeah. What about gender affirming care, protecting the rights of trans people in the state, or LGBTQ people in the state, or, increasing access to childcare or healthcare in the state? Anything like that? Or just, I'm excited that the process will include the mail.
Well, and I should add, there was a little coda to that in the episode of Morning Edition. Clay Masters jumped in to say right at the end, there is a bill on the governor's desk that would mandate physical presence for anyone participating in the caucuses. So if that gets signed, that'll fuck up that one thing that she pointed out.
Oh, man.
And we are relying on my memory here, which could be wrong, but no, I don't remember her bringing up any sort of LGBT causes or healthcare, although I'm a little iffier on that. She may have said something.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Maybe she said some really great stuff that didn't make it into the finished product. We know how audio production goes. Sometimes your best lines just land on the cutting room floor. But yeah, it fills you with a lot of confidence in the future of the Iowa Democratic Party. As usual, they're always knocking it out of the park.
I'm inspired, frankly. I feel like we can, just take a break because they've got it handled.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the really good article that was in The Atlantic first, or do you want to talk about Ron DeSantis?
Well, there's just breaking news about Ron DeSantis that came out. The incredible, successful rollout of his now announced campaign for presidency that no one saw coming.
He is officially running, everyone. Get excited for the Ron DeSantis 2024 campaign. He's got a steep hill to climb, I think.
But yeah, actually, like an hour before we started recording this, he officially announced his campaign in a Twitter space, right? That's what that's called?
Yep. Never been in one.
No, I've never, ever clicked on that.
The hill is especially high for him to, or steep for him to climb, right? Because he's a short king.
Yeah. I think he's just slightly taller than me. If Trump said he was 5'7", I think that was a real Trump post. I'm reliant on the Truth Social reporters.
Yeah.
on the ground reporting to the rest of us. Obviously I wasn't watching the Twitter space that he was in, but it seemed like it was a technical mess.
Yeah, I just watched that video that you posted where he called himself Rondy Santis.
Yeah, his announcement, like his first campaign ad, he pronounces his name like he doesn't know how to say it.
Like his first name is Rondy, or it's like Ron D. Santis.
Well, it sounds like Rondy to me.
Yeah.
I could just play it. Have you seen it, Stella?
Absolutely not. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I don't know if he really used any more specifics than Rita Hart did. I don't think there's
No.
Yeah, pretty much just America good, president bad, I alone can fix it. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you. This is fresh material. I mean, it's kind of good that we don't have competent writers on this week, because there's no way they could have written something fast enough for this one.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Our border is a disaster. Crime infests our cities. The federal government makes it harder for families to make ends meet, and the president flounders. But decline is a choice.
President Flanders.
Success is attainable, and freedom is worth fighting for. Righting the ship requires restoring sanity to our society, normalcy to our communities, and integrity to our institutions. Truth must be our foundation, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon virtue. In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Rondy Santis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
So
American comeback instead of Make America Great Again? That's an interesting twist.
Yeah. Speaking of writers, what he's saying there is so overwritten. Just like all that wordplay shit. Like,
it's like Buttigieg-esque.
You know what it reminds me of those videos that like people pay to make, like where they have some like announcer guy like read whatever script they want. It sounds like exactly like that guy. I don't know. There's one guy who's in like a bunch of them. There was one that was I think commissioned by Low Tax Kayanka. Rest in peace. Rest in piss.
Oh, like the old Style Project video.
I don't know. It's a really short clip where it's just the guy, and like I said, I've seen that guy in a million videos, but he's like, I am the worst guy. I hate myself a whole lot. And throw that one on there.
I am the worst guy. I hate myself a whole lot.
And tell me it doesn't sound like Rondy Santis.
Yeah, so you heard how he said his name there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rondy.
Everyone I've ever heard say that name says Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
And he's like Rondy Santis. the long E sound. Ron D. Santis. He comes across as very inhuman.
Yeah. Do you think the inclusion of flounders is a nod to the people who are upset about the Disney live action remake of The Little Mermaid?
Absolutely. It's got to be.
Yeah, that's
his whole bag.
Yeah,
he hates Disney. That fish?
He hates Disney. He knows it's a hot button cultural issue, because I was reminded the other day that people are mad that the new Little Mermaid is black. Like, I remember that was like a controversy like a year ago, and I was like, oh,
right when they first announced it. Yeah,
people are still mad about that. That's pretty funny.
Well, the movie is coming out soon, I think, so it just kind of flared up again, or maybe it's out already. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say, I have no issue with the black Ariel, but the flounder images that I've seen from that new movie they do look pretty bad. So
a little unsettling. Fish shouldn't have like human eyes.
I like it. People were really hard on it. I thought that was cute. So I asked ChatGPT to write me a joke about Ron DeSantis running for president and being from Florida. And here's what ChatGPT came up with.
Great. So this could be our new writer.
Yeah. They're quaking in their boots. Why did Ron DeSantis consider running for president despite being from Florida, which some people think is a bit shitty?
It said shitty?
Yeah, well, I included that in the prompt.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because he figured if he can handle the endless flow of alligators and hurricanes, he can definitely handle the swamp in Washington, D.C.
Mm.
Do you know about love bugs? Florida love bugs?
Like the cars?
Oh, like a bug, like a Volkswagen bug?
Yeah. Is that what you mean?
No, are those like the kissing bugs, like the Caucus bugs that like carry like a deadly plague? Oh, okay.
Well, they're these like genetically engineered bugs that they released in Florida. I'm trying to remember why. They had some purpose, like they were going to eat some other kind of nuisance creature. But instead of doing that, once they released this invasive species in Florida, these bugs just started fucking and like reproducing like crazy. And not only that, when you're driving your car and you hit them, their goo is like extremely corrosive and it like takes off the paint on your car. So it's like a real problem in Florida. All these love bugs are just like not killing the bug that they're supposed to. They're just out here destroying like paint on vehicles.
Wasn't that like a Simpsons thing? Maybe in the Australia episode, like invasive species that are like brought in to kill each other.
Yeah. There are some famous instances of that happening throughout history where an invasive species is introduced and then it causes all these unforeseen problems to the ecosystem. And then they have to release another creature to kill that creature and so on and so forth.
Escalating animal invasions.
Yes.
Until eventually, I mean, we're at the top of the food chain. We got to take care of it ourselves.
Yeah,
that's right.
Ron DeSantis running for president. All the polls that I've seen, which I don't know how reliable polling is at this point, show him like 30 to 50 points behind Donald Trump. Trump has all the advantages right now, as far as I can tell, in the Republican primary. But I also just saw a tweet from Keenan Crow of One Iowa, who believes that DeSantis actually has a better chance than a lot of us are thinking right now, especially in Iowa. I guess he's appealing to the evangelical crowd, which has been a winning method in Iowa before, but not nationally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of conservatives like his abhorrent stuff that he does and believes in.
Yeah, he is an evil man. He's in the sort of like competition to be the worst governor, the most evil governor.
Him in Texas. Who's the governor of Texas?
Abbott.
Yeah. Abbott. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
DeSantis has like an especially evil flair.
I think it seems like he does like very outrageous things regularly because he wants the news buzz, because he wants to be president.
Oh, yeah. No, he's all about just like triggering the libs. That's like his entire campaign. That's like his entire governorship of Florida is just just hammering on the hot button issues of the day that are riling up conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see that playing out without like successfully for him without him like transforming into Donald Trump spontaneously during one of his campaign events, which I don't think that's going to happen.
Seems like that will be a difficult thing to pull off. And he's just like a little wiener. Like he, like you heard his voice a minute ago. Like, no.
Yeah.
But I honestly, like, I've always felt the same about Trump. Like the way that he talks and the way that he acts is also, he's just a little wiener.
Obnoxious.
But he's entertaining. DeSantis isn't entertaining.
Right. Yeah.
There's no reason to like watch Rondy Santis. Like Trump is like, you can't look away from him.
You can't. Yeah, it's like car accident.
He just demands the attention. Ron DeSantis is like, please pay attention to me.
Right, exactly. Like Trump, like effortlessly has all this attention because he spent like his lifetime, building up like a media presence. But Ron is just so desperate for the attention.
Yeah.
Rondy needs it, and the desperation is real off-putting. I thought we could maybe look at this article here from the New York Times because Rondy visited our state. I think it was last week. May 14th is when they published this. This is by Nicholas Nehamis and Maggie Haberman, everyone's favorite New York Times reporter, Maggie Haberman.
Yeah, having a panic attack off of weed brownie, Maggie Haberman. We need to ban it all. Because I had a panic attack because I took way more than I was supposed to.
It's dangerous. So they write about DeSantis' visit to Iowa. DeSantis impresses in Iowa, showing up in absent Trump. So Trump was supposed to have a rally in Des Moines, which he canceled because he was afraid of a little thunderstorm. Come on, how can you be president again, serving a second unconsecutive term if you can't even handle a little rain? So this was like Rondy's. This was his window. I can show up. Trump didn't even show up, so I'm the king of Iowa today. And this is the New York Times reporting on that. For the first time in months, Governor Ron DeSantis on Saturday showed the aggressive political instincts that his allies have long insisted he would demonstrate in a contest against former President Donald Trump. So all it took was Donald Trump not being present, So if he's not around, Rondy is capable of being a little more forceful in his campaigning.
It's like when you win by the other team's forfeiture.
Right. See, he can win. He does have a path forward. After headlining two successful political events in Iowa, Mr. DeSantis made an unscheduled stop in Des Moines, a move aimed at highlighting the fact that Mr. Trump had abruptly postponed a planned Saturday evening rally in the area because of reports of possible severe weather. Seems like they're connecting the dots for him there. I don't know if he actually said anything about that. Oh, okay. It says that DeSantis' allies said that the weather was beautiful, and this was interpreted as an attack on Donald Trump. Mr. DeSantis essentially kicked sand in the former president's face by coming to an area that Mr. Trump claimed to have been told was too dangerous for him to visit.
Yeah, that's right. It was like fucking Fallujah.
Yeah. He'll be feeling this one. He'll be spitting sand out of his mouth for days.
Yeah.
After the walloping he received from Mr. DeSantis. After wrapping up his events on Saturday evening elsewhere in the state, Mr. DeSantis headed to Jethro's Barbecue Southside.
That's the most Ron DeSantis place that he could go in the entire Des Moines Metro.
Yeah.
Jethro's, of course, listen back to the episode we did with Aaron Calvin 2.5 years ago to learn more about Jethro's and its owners. He and his wife, Casey DeSantis, stood on a table outside and spoke to a cheering crowd. I believe I referred to this as Beto mode on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's bringing back standing on the table.
Oh, wow. Casey's like beautiful, though.
Yeah,
Why
that's right.
Is she with this guy?
He's powerful. It's the only reason that people date each other, right?
Oh my gosh, I wish. I mean, I wish Natalie was on the episode so that we could talk about Casey DeSantis. So this is the first time that I'm becoming aware of her. She likes a cape. Her hair is long.
She's wearing a cape?
Yeah, like a dress with a cape. Like when it.
That's pretty cool.
She's beautiful. I want her to stomp on me. She does that thing with her hair where she like combs up the bangs really high.
Wait, so like this?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to trust you on that
for the listeners. Like it's slicked back, like a vampire,
but like puffy in the front.
Okay, so there's like a big bump.
Yeah, like a big bump, like a bump it. But I don't think she's wearing a bump it. Okay. She would never.
But it's natural.
She's too classy. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've read like a profile of her before. Possibly from a wealthy family or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Let me just read for you this just like killer quote from DeSantis they got here. You know, this is why it's such a big deal that he came out to Iowa and why he's taking the offensive against Trump. He's saying stuff like this. My better half and I have been able to be all over Iowa today, but before we went back to Florida, we wanted to come by and say hi to the people of Des Moines, a grinning Mr. DeSantis said. So thank you all for coming out. It's a beautiful night. It's been a great day for us.
Evangelicals
just straight to the throat there.
Eat it up when you call your spouse your better half.
I fucking hate that. That like grosses me out because when people say that, they definitely don't mean it. Like they definitely don't mean it. And they say this is my better half.
It's a joke, yeah.
It's fake humble, which is the worst thing you can be.
They met each other they got married at Walt Disney World.
Oh,
which
boy.
is, I quote, kind of ironic, according to Governor DeSantis. Is that what ironic
it's kind
means?
Of ironic. Yeah, his battle with Disney is also pathetic. Here's another quote from somebody. This is from Terry Sullivan, who managed the 2016 presidential campaign of Senator Marco Rubio of Florida. So this is a guy who knows what he's talking about. If someone's punching you in the face, you better punch them back. And he's clearly, Mr. DeSantis is doing that. He's punching back by standing on a table at a barbecue restaurant.
It's a beautiful day. It's really going to cut it deep.
Zippity-doo-dah, everybody.
Oh, that's a little ironic.
Yeah. He only likes the banned Disney films. What else can I pull from this? Okay, this is something that DeSantis said in Cedar Rapids, our favorite city in Iowa. If we make this election about a referendum on Joe Biden and his failed policies, and we provide a positive alternative to take America in a new direction, I think Republicans will win across the board. I mean, was that not 2022? Was that not a referendum on Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Or was it a referendum on, like, should trans people be allowed to exist? That was a big component, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the abortion thing might have been.
That was, of course, a big part.
One of the bigger factors. But yeah, it turns out like people don't really like Republicans, but they don't really like Democrats either. It's like it turns out most people kind of sick of all this shit. That's what I gather.
Yeah, and that may not be a novel observation, but like that does seem to be where we're at. Like, who do I hate less, or do I bother to vote at all? Like that high schooler that Stella begged to vote.
And now I've kind of come around to their way of thinking.
Yep.
Very prescient.
I would like to apologize to Maggie Haberman. It was actually Maureen Dowd who had the marijuana edible freakout.
Oh,
it must have been.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's because I didn't have a script, and I was again just half remembering things and confidently.
Yeah, sorry,
them.
everybody. Like, hopefully the strike will get wrapped up soon, or we can like force better writers to come back and work for us. But please, bear with us as we try to get through this period.
Here's let's see, Amy Seeger. This is I think just a standard Republican voter who they interviewed for this piece. It says Amy traveled from Milwaukee to see Rondy Santis speak in Sioux Center. That is a long way to go.
Where is Sioux Center? I don't even fucking know.
I'm sure it's not close to Milwaukee. I can say that.
Yeah.
But Amy Seeger said, I would vote for a shoe over Trump. It's time to move forward. Trump is very wrapped up in 2020 and playing the victim. So, I would agree with that. When I went and saw Trump speak in Des Moines last time he was in our state, it was just like 2 hours of complaining about the 2020 election. And it did seem to turn off some people in the crowd. People got bored and left. But I'm not sure that the majority of the Republican electorate is on the same page as Amy Seeger. Did you see where Sioux Center is?
Yeah, it's northwest. Pretty close to
really
like Sioux Falls. Yeah.
From Milwaukee, yeah. What about you, Stella and Evan? Do you think you would vote for a shoe over Donald Trump?
That's a tough one. How is the shoe like nicely polished? Like, is it like a nice leather shoe with like oil?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I like a nice oiled leather shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you are voting Republicans for the Republicans with fossil fuels. Okay, gotcha. No, I would never vote for Donald Trump. I would vote for the shoe every time. Is that what the Democratic Party is running? Honestly, probably better than some of the candidates they've
Honestly, it might be better than Biden. Shoes don't die. I mean, they kind of can. But
yeah.
You can wear out a shoe, but
not if you
can't
keep it
wear out
oiled.
Joe Biden.
Not if you oil it.
Yeah, that's right.
Fighting Joe Biden never goes down.
Keep up with the maintenance.
Okay, all right. Does it depend on the type of shoe? Would you vote for like a cowboy boot or like a loafer or sneaker? You know,
I think the higher the top, the better.
Yeah.
When it comes to shoe candidates,
I don't know. Penny loafers kind of casual, but also pretty classy. So
maybe like, elitist though. Like
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess cowboy
like
boot
a boat
is
shoe.
A lot
no
more.
Chance would I vote for a boat shoe.
I feel like every Republican candidate would be represented by cowboy boots, regardless of whether that actually fit their personality. Just because it's kind of like it's the shoes the Cowboys wear
to be. Yeah.
What about a Croc?
That's a tough one.
Crocs are coming back. Everyone loves Crocs now.
They have gained a lot of mainstream acceptance, it seems.
Yeah, they're comfy. I mean,
I think I don't know if I would vote for a Croc, but I do think a Croc could beat Trump.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah, they could.
Yeah, I think it could too. I bet a Croc, if you polled the entire country, I bet you a Croc would win by 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In a head-to-head election, do you support the Croc or do you support Donald J. Trump?
If the election was held today, would you vote for?
I'll get our polling firm on that. They, fortunately, are not on strike. They are doing their jobs. So, listeners, you should receive a text soon from a weird number asking you questions about your shoes very soon. We were talking about Casey DeSantis a minute ago. They did quote her in this piece as well. This is also in Cedar Rapids. She said this: "When he gets home, don't think for a second that he goes right to bed. I hand 3 small kids over to him and I go to bed."
Wow. Modern gentleman.
So
I wonder what
she think this would be a plus or a minus in terms of his electability in a Republican primary.
Let's ask his kids who do they prefer being their primary caretaker.
To see if we can get a Ted Cruz trying to kiss his daughter moment out of Rondy.
Yeah.
She goes to bed at like 5:15. Like,
right. Yeah, I can't imagine this guy's pulling late nights at the office. Well, according to the New York Times, though, this moment did resonate with the crowd. They pulled a quote from Bob Carlson, a physician from Muscatine, and he said, "There was a tender side to him, a family side, that I didn't really have an appreciation for." Wait. I guess they mean prior to this event.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't really appreciate that.
I said
don't
fuck
like
them
that.
kids.
That's a thumbs down from me.
I promise I didn't misread that, by the way. It says I didn't really have an appreciation for her. Oh, they got a quote from Steve Dace here.
Oh,
That's,
man.
Yeah, one of Gavin's enemies. We're all outside on a nice night, the influential podcast host Steve Dace wrote on Twitter from the scene of Mr. D. Santis' barbecue victory lap. Pretty big crowd, too. No severe weather in sight. Planes landing and taking off as scheduled. So I guess Dace is on the D. Santis train.
It would have been great if he just like kept talking about things that were like weather balloons. No problem. Kites flying through the air unscathed.
My drone's floating above the crowd right now, filming everyone.
Zero fear of tornadoes. Fly that drone in any weather.
I mean, I honestly you should be weather aware. I think this is a little bit irresponsible of the mainstream media.
That's right. There is at least one person who is like, Trump, the whole January 6th thing really kind of turned me off. But then I found out that his main competitor isn't taking the weather seriously enough. So I got to go with Trump this time.
Yeah, this is a man who respects nature. And that'll play well in Iowa because we obey nature. We respect the tornado warning.
Stewards
no, we
of
don't.
the
That's
land.
not true at all.
Yeah. Unless there's one on the ground heading directly towards your house. It's the same as a severe thunderstorm warning, which means you don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If ever there were a people that responsibly cared for the natural world around us, this natural bounty, it would be Iowans. Go listen to our episode with Dr. Chris Jones.
Yeah, to learn more about Iowa's environmental policies.
Yeah, I did. He's actually my dad. Kind of like Rita Hart's Stella's dad. Mom, I mean.
So maybe we don't really need the writers, because that was kind of one of their main things, was just riffing on people's last names.
Yeah.
And it seems like we've got a handle on that now.
Yeah.
And then they sort of end the article saying DeSantis is kind of courting support from the social conservatives, the evangelicals of Iowa, including Bob Vanderplatz, I guess, has been very supportive of DeSantis. So, yeah, he may be another Rick Santorum, Mike Huckabee, one of those guys who wins the Iowa caucus and then fails everywhere else.
Yeah, Keenan might be onto something there. I wouldn't be surprised if, that happened at all.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, I am looking forward to the Republican caucuses here in Iowa. We're going to get just a circus of freaks at the state fair, probably. I'm going to try to make a checklist and catch all of them that week.
Yeah.
Can we...
Looking forward to that.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Yeah. Can we register as Republicans to attend the Republican caucus and participate?
You certainly can. Yeah. You can register on site.
Sure can.
Well, I mean, you can register as a Republican on site. I don't think you can do on site registration anymore. But that's been a whole thing. That was, they're aware of that. And I think they're trying to prevent it from happening.
So if you plan on doing that, register as a Republican very soon.
Yeah, I think that might have been... So, there is that bill that they proposed in the Iowa State House to prevent mail-in votes for caucuses. And I saw some speculation. Well, I mean, people were obviously were like, yeah, they're just trying to fuck with the Democrats, which is definitely a motivating factor, I'm sure. But I think part of it, it made sense to me that they were also trying to prevent people from meddling in their primary, because it would be, I mean, how many people are really going to show up in person? I don't know. I would be a little scared to go to a Republican caucus and be in the same room with those people. But mail, you know.
Well, it is a little different, but you know that I went to the Republican caucus in 2008, right?
Yeah.
It's
probably
big Ron Paul supporter, right?
A bit scarier now. No, I did not vote for Ron Paul. Well, maybe I did. I mean, I wasn't there like with any. Much like that high schooler Stella talked to, I went there for extra credit, basically.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I voted for Mitt Romney in one phase of that caucus, but I don't think I voted for Ron Paul. It doesn't really matter. But at that point, it was a very chill atmosphere. Like, they all just sat down and wrote down their choices on a piece of paper. Much less crazy than a Democratic caucus. But at this point, who knows? You know, being in a room full of those people.
Yeah, I would like to see. There's going to be maybe some fights that might happen. Maybe we'll make the Republican caucuses as crazy as the Democratic caucuses this year. I think that's a good goal.
It is a good goal. Yeah, let's aim for that. So I would like
depends who's running.
All of our listeners, please register as Republicans as soon as you can.
Yeah. Much like the last caucus in 2020, we would like to hear your wildest stories. So please do register as a Republican and attend. And we're not saying you have to start shit, but if you do, it'll make a more entertaining story. So if it seems too calm, you know, this is your call to action for good podcasting content, because we don't have writers anymore.
Yeah. Well, hopefully by then they'll be back, but, you know, maybe not. But speaking of crazy Democrat caucuses, do you guys know who the most dangerous Democrat in Iowa is?
I think it's the one and only elected statewide Democrat. It's kind of by default. He's automatically the most dangerous
the most of everything.
Democrat in Iowa.
Yeah, it's not very stiff competition.
I mean, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Croc.
Rob Sand had a profile in The Atlantic recently written by Elaine Godfrey, who I'm pretty sure has a history in Iowa media. I don't remember why I follow her on Twitter, but I do. So I think she used to be a news person here. She wrote this piece about Rob, which is like really a very fun read. Much better than the New York Times piece, The Bow Hunting Influencer of Iowa Democrats, from a few years ago, which is a classic in the Rob Sand literature.
In the canon.
Yeah.
So I did just ask ChatGPT, what's the deal with Rob Sand? Is he dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
And ChatGPT had a pretty good joke. Rob Sand, more like Rob slightly gritty.
Oh. Is that like gritty, like the hockey mascot? Is that?
And then it goes on to say, but in all seriousness, Rob Sand is a real person and a Democrat who served as the state auditor of Iowa.
Fucking woke ass ChatGPT has to be like, oh, he's a person.
He's a real person. Real. I don't know. Jury's still out.
This is the least I have ever believed that he's a real person now. They got the AI like insisting he's a real person.
Very fishy. It goes on to say, it would be unfair and misleading to label someone as dangerous based solely on their political affiliation or their role in public office. It's always a good idea to research and gather information from reliable sources to form an informed opinion about a public figure.
Yeah, that sounds like something that somebody who doesn't know anything about Rob Sand.
Yeah, Rob's slightly gritty.
Yeah, Rob Sand is the lowest grit sandpaper that you can buy. He's might as well be might as well be just like a sponge.
Yeah.
Might as well be a microfiber cloth.
But what I really liked about this article is how it explicitly acknowledges that the shit that Rob is doing now is with the goal of reaching higher office at some point. Like it acknowledges his career aspirations and more importantly acknowledges how he funds his campaigns, which I believe is this the first time this has been in the media?
It's been on blogs, like tiny ass blogs for sure.
If you don't count us as
I'm
media,
sure it has been,
which of course we're not.
Right, we're not. No. No, I've seen it mentioned in a couple blogs. I'm sure it's been mentioned elsewhere. I'm pretty sure Laura Bellin has mentioned it on Bleeding Heartland. Okay. But yeah, the New York Times article, which is hilarious, it did not touch on that at all. Did not touch on, I mean, Rob Sand became state auditor because of his parent-in-law's money. Like, that's pretty much the facts. He would not have been nearly as successful without that nice little lift up. Yeah, it's crazy that so many articles are just like, oh yeah, it's his personality. It's really just that he's somehow threaded the needle where he's appealing to Republicans and Democrats. Wow. Come on.
The thread is made of cash.
This is how Elaine Godfrey reported on it. Sand's wife, Christine, the CEO of an agri-science business, comes from a wealthy family. Her relatives have provided much of the funding for his campaigns. So that's, the first time I've seen anyone really point that out.
Yeah.
His wife is the CEO of an agri-science business, and her parents fund his political campaigns.
Yeah. It would be a little better if they use their name, but
yeah, it's
Lauritsen's. Because anyone in Iowa, anyone in central Iowa is probably going to have heard that name before.
Yeah.
Might put some dots together.
There's another really fun little tidbit about his wife's family. Sand can sometimes sound self-righteous. First off, agree or disagree? Can he? What do you think? But it goes on. His wife's brothers referred to him as Baby Jesus.
I love the idea of him just going to Thanksgiving with all of them and they just fucking dunk on him the whole time. They're just roasting him. And I mean, how much worse could it be? He's basically employed by his in-laws.
And he did tweet about this article and he screenshotted some very selective excerpts. Not the parts that talk about his appearance like this. The auditor is 40 but looks 20. He's lanky with eyes that crinkle at the corners and a big forehead. That's a little brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be a lot meaner, but for a piece in the Atlantic, it's a little more than I'd expect.
Next time you see Rob Sand in public, he's going to have fucking Botox. He's going to be, those wrinkles are going to be taken care of.
Also talks about his fashion modeling.
My favorite part is the quote from his friend. Is
that the anonymous one?
Anonymously. Yeah.
So this is an anonymous friend of Rob's. He's kind of a square, and he can come across as a little bit arrogant. A personal friend of Sand's who asked for anonymity to speak more candidly told me.
That's what his friend said.
I'll say this, but you cannot say that I said it.
This cannot be traced to me.
Right.
He's my friend, but he's an arrogant prick.
Yeah, I wonder what his enemies think of him, right?
Yeah.
That's literally, I mean, if he does run for governor, that's going to be, he's going to be attacked as an out-of-touch elitist. And obviously he's been trying to spend his entire political career downplaying that narrative. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, man. I don't really look at Rob Sand and think, oh yeah, that's a really authentic person. And that's kind of what a lot of people are looking for, regardless of even political affiliation. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Godfrey calls him part Pete Buttigieg, part youth pastor. Which does not sound good to me.
Depends on what your opinion of Pete Buttigieg is.
But then the piece also writes about that bill that the legislature passed that would severely limit the authority of the auditor's office. And it covers it in a very adequate way, I think.
Yeah. And yeah, that is incredible bullshit. I'm going to support Rob Sand on that one.
It is
obviously
bad.
Political fuckery. I don't know how much progress or what he's going to be able to do about it, other than apparently show up in small towns in Iowa and ask the Republicans that he's speaking to email Kim Reynolds and tell her not to sign the bill.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works, but not real optimistic.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And she confronts that directly in this article, because she went to a couple of these small town events with him where he was telling people what's in the bill, like why this is bad. When we got back in the truck, I asked Sand what the point of all of it was. Of course, Reynolds would sign the bill. Was he possibly that naive? And then it quotes him. And this, I think he wrote this and planned it and practiced it before he said it to the reporter. Even if it's finished and the bill is done, this is really fucking important, Sand said. He said fuck.
Oh my god.
He said the fuck word.
He's going Beto mode.
Yeah, dude, he's a Beto boy for sure. There's some similarities.
Another of Sand's friends called Rob the Luke Skywalker of the Iowa Democrats. And then Elaine Godfrey goes on to say, the Iowa Democrats' Luke Skywalker drives a white Ford F-150 pickup, because of course he does. A little bit of snark there.
It goes on about his hunting as well, right?
Yeah, there is something about the hunting, of course. That's a very important thing for him.
Yeah, she's like very
unsettling
struck
office.
By his taxidermy.
Yeah, let me read this part. Sand is a Democrat, but he is a Democrat who hunts. Bow hunting may be a genuine passion, but it's also part of the myth he's built up around himself. So good, acknowledging that he's building a myth up around himself.
Yeah, that's all we really wanted to see. It was just someone who's like points out the extremely obvious things about Rob Sand that we've been talking about for fucking years.
Yeah. Really good piece here. Let me ask you this, though. That description, like the physical description of him that I read. Well, first off, the auditor is 40 but looks 20. What do you think?
I don't know. When he was 20, though, he had like that very androgynous, he was a model.
Right.
So I don't know. He definitely looks 40 though. Now.
See, someone who looks 20 but is actually 40, that's definitely a sign that they're a reptilian shapeshifter. So I think that that probably explains it better than anything.
And then part of it that I hadn't read yet, she also calls him good looking in an impish way.
Different strokes for
I wonder how mad he was
some people
reading
like
this.
I know.
He must.
Some people are attracted to imps, and
it's like she read me like a fucking book.
Yeah, it's the first time his folksy charm has not put a spell on a member of the media.
He keeps sending her his modeling photos.
Well, I think he feels kind of weird about the modeling thing. I don't think he wants that to...
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing more of that in line with what I said about him being attacked for being an out-of-touch elitist. I think I would not be surprised if that modeling picture started appearing on Iowa TV screens in the next several years.
That's a good bet. There is already that weird Twitter account that is It has one of his modeling pictures as the profile pic, and I have never quite understood what angle they're coming from. But
yeah,
it seems
I don't.
right
Yeah, I've
way.
seen that account too. I'm not really sure what you're doing, but yeah.
You know who knows his angles?
Yeah.
Rob Sand, former model.
You want to move on to some voicemails? We have 3 this week.
Sure.
We don't release this weekly. We have 3 this episode. All right, here's our first voicemail of the day. If you would like to call the show and leave your own kind of voicemail, the number is 319-849-8733. We would love to hear from you.
Hi, I work in a liquor store, and there is a naked man here screaming and pouring Smirnoff Ice, red, white, and berry all over himself. Oh, fuck. Hey, stop. God damn it. And oh, shit. He's throwing bottles, and he looks a lot like Chandis Nipper.
Oh, Chandis Nipper.
It's scary and funny. I have a lot of feelings right now. Oh, fuck. So if you could send somebody, that would be great. Like I said, he looks like Chandis Nipper, who is suspected in the murder. Oh, fuck. Of Brockhampton. Thank you.
Wait. Chandis is suspected in the murder of Brockhampton. Okay, so last episode, we got a call of someone mumbling and then a call from someone named Brockhampton who said that the previous caller was someone named Chandis.
Yeah.
And Brockhampton said they did what needed to be done to take care of Chandis, I think. I'm trying to just piece this together. There's like a weird family, like all of them seem to call us at various times.
Very Tolstoy-esque. A lot of characters to keep track of. Very complicated names.
Yeah.
Where's Trunt in all this? Just continuing to serve Trunt?
I don't know if we've heard from him. Have we? We heard from... Oh, no.
We heard from Trab.
Trab, that's his name. Trab. Yeah, we've heard from him a lot. It's been a bit since we heard from him. Anyway, in between episodes, I received word that Chandis had gone missing, and I put up our phone number as like a hotline for if anyone had seen Chandis. So I believe that's what that call was about. They encountered Chandis at a liquor store and called to let us know. And that call is from 12 days ago, so... I will send someone to the liquor store to check it out as soon as we're done recording now.
Right. Gotta address the Smirnoff Ice situation immediately. That's not a good thing for the other customers.
Now that we've been informed, we will be taking swift action on this call. Here's voicemail number 2.
Привету. У меня есть информация о Brockhampton Nipper. Он не веществует, что не прошло, именю, версетку, другое решение прошло. Когда позволите мне увидеть, то touch my penis, you do not very good man.
Was that very good man? Is that what he said at the end?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Oh, and Nipper. I heard Nipper.
Yeah. So if you, as a listener, understand whatever language that was and could translate for us, we'd appreciate it.
I believe that Vladimir Zelensky has enough on his plate. He does not need to be dragged into these Nipper shenanigans.
But he does listen, so he could translate for us, right?
Yeah, he's a faithful listener.
The Google Voice transcript for that voicemail says, Romania Houston University. That's all they caught. So yeah, possibly an admissions university college recruiter. Sorry, we're all too old for that. Maybe he's getting ready for your son, Stella, to apply for colleges. I'll help him out when the time comes.
Where's my son?
He's applying to Romania Houston University, Stella.
Yeah. Well, with the way, his teething and sitting up and everything are going, he better apply to a state school. That's all I'll say.
Right.
Romania Houston University offers 2- and 4-year degrees in the following programs: Ukrainian listening, liquor store clerk studies. All right, I got one more voicemail here. This is from an old friend of ours.
Hello, Rock Harders. It's me again, your favorite auditor. That's right, it's Baby Jesus. I'm just joking with you guys. Now, I mean it. I stopped considering myself the second coming of Christ a long time ago. Don't worry. I was just referencing the piece about me in the Atlantic. It was wonderful. I like to think it was my earlier appearance on your wonderful trend-setting podcast that put me on the national stage. I call it the rock hard bump. Hope that made you lol. I prefer not to be in such a prominent public role, as you know. I'm just a down-home, aw shucks type of guy who just happened to find himself on the catwalks of Venice and Milan. Humility is my strong suit and my best quality. Well, I'm off for now. I have a plate of Casey's cheese, pizza, and a gallon of whole milk awaiting. Doodles!
Thanks so much, Rob. What a coincidence that article comes out and he happens to call in the same episode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We're all going to wake up in the woods and he's going to hunt us for sport and then he's going to hang our heads in his office.
It's always good to hear.
And I
from
regret
him.
saying that fake humility is the worst quality a politician can have. Now that I remembered that Rob Sand is a big fan of our podcast and has appeared here before.
Yeah. And of course has benefited from the rock hard bump, as have we all. And all of our guests always appreciate the effects of the rock hard bump following their appearances. If you would like to perhaps achieve a rock hard bump of your own, you may call us at 319-849-8733. And new addition to the methods of contact for the Rock Hard Caucus podcast, P.O. Box 5336 in Coralville, Iowa, zip code 52241. That's P.O. Box 5336 in Coralville, Iowa, 52241. You can send physical mail to us. This is a byproduct of the copyright battles we have waged over the last couple of months. We now have a P.O. box for the next year, so let's take advantage of it. Send us, put some ground beef in an envelope or something. I don't know. Send something. Make this worth my time.
No, don't do that. Be nice to your mailman. Come on.
All right,
we don't condone that. I'm going to have to step in for once here.
All right, no biological products in the envelope.
Right.
Just write us a handwritten letter, like old times. Send us love letters, romantic letters, professing your adoration for our rock hard bumps.
How hard are those bumps?
Rock. Solid. And if you like our show and are looking for a way to hear more of it and perhaps exchange money to do so, check out patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. There's a bunch of stuff on there that is a bit sillier even than what you hear on the main show. 20-something episodes of Toxic Feminine Mystique. That's our show for girls only. A bunch of strange book reviews, and most importantly of all, Tony and I are releasing a new episode of Speed Freak Read Speak this coming Monday, and you won't want to miss it. Patreon.com/rockhardcaucus.
Yeah, I've been told there's some interesting gender commentary in the next edition of Speed Freak.
Yeah, not the one that's coming out on Monday, but the one after that, which we haven't recorded yet, involves the main female character of the series. It's a deep exploration of her character, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of cool, interesting, progressive takes on gender roles in that episode. But now it's time to go. Do you feel satisfied with your podcast contributions tonight? I know we had no writers, so we had to do a little extra heavy lifting. How do you feel about it?
Well, as usual, I expect Pat and Oswald will be punching up some of the jokes, and you'll be making some edits in post-production to make us all come off a little smarter and better than we are.
Yeah,
Good luck.
I think there were a few sort of like empty moments that could be filled in with a little bit like, haha, yeah, right, kind of dialogue like that, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think if we added like a laugh
bring back
track?
the Natalie, right? Bring back the Natalie
Yes.
laugh track. Yes. You just got to get Natalie in the recording studio and just have her record like various reactions to various things, and then you build a sound library out of that, and automatic podcast quality increase.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. She does that
Rock
a lot.
Hard Caucus was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Speaking of a live audience, a band that I'm in called BCJ's Peas, we just released a live recording of a show we played last month, and that's what's going to play now as the show ends, a clip from that. So enjoy this excerpt of Thanks, Mom, Live at the Creek by BCJ's Peas. And thanks for listening, and thank you, Evan and Stella, for pulling way more than your weight today as we are enduring this writer's strike.
That was terrible.